We both trained as mathematicians, but you went the musical route, but still a lot of maths underpinning it. I mean, what for you was that connection between the maths and the music?
Maths helped me understand it at the start, the process of making something sound pleasant. But then I sort of became fascinated by that, and that became a whole part of my music making process. I'm dealing in the whole sound, making electronic music. And when I play my violin, there's so much going on, so many micro variations of my pressure and movement.
That's interesting.
Change the sound, and it's so detailed. There's so much in a real sound, there's so much detail in a basic synthesized sound. It's very predictable. So maths became super useful in the last couple of years for me as a tool for generating complexity. People think of maths as a rigid, mechanistic thing, but chaos is something where it opens up into being quite an intuitive field and quite sort of nuanced. And chaos is a perfect way to use simple rules to generate complexity. And there's so much detail. If I tried to do that with the mouse consciously, it would take a lifetime.
I mean, it's interesting interaction between maths and music, but also the brain and consciousness. And I'm kind of interested to explore what exactly music is doing when we sit there and all listen together. And, are our brain waves somehow syncing when we listen to that piece of music? Are we elevating our consciousness to another level?
The process of playing music, of being in a club, you can get you feel different.
Yeah.
Just sucked into it. Duetting musicians with a EEG brainwave monitor on. When someone is playing, following a leader, their brainwave patterns exactly match.
Which is fascinating, I mean.
And going on from that, so if you take that participation in the music is increasing your level of symmetry with the musician, then it kind of elevates the club experience. I'd always felt, coming from Oxford, and the world of clubs is not intellectual, feeling that this sort of participatory experience is somehow more connected. It's sort of given me more faith in it, and also given me a sort of fresh impetus to find other ways of exploiting this environment and to really see how far it can go.
I've got more and more interested in the sort of science of consciousness, and what is it about this network or the brain that allows us to integrate it into one experience? I mean, I took part in an experiment in Berlin which really questioned whether I had free will or not, because I was asked to sit in an fMRI scanner and every now and again make a decision to put my left finger down, well, that's left, and right finger down. But what they discovered was they could predict 6 seconds before I'd made my decision, asserting my free will, what I was going to do, because the motor neural activity was being built up to press left 6 seconds earlier, and the fMRI scanner could pick that up. Which I think makes you think, well, is consciousness a much more sort of secondary experience? Your brain sort of sets things up and then tells your consciousness what it's going to do, which then sort of opens up whole sort of Pandora's
philosophical
box.
chasms,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean,
so
justice.
I'm going to shoot you with my gun. Oh, but it wasn't me. It was my motor neural brain activity 6 seconds earlier. My consciousness just got told I was.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, James.
But your consciousness is still going to prison for.
Yes.
As a mathematician, you're aware that when you're making leaps, you're not really sort of reasoning through them in that sort of slow, painful, conscious manner. And as a musician, I mean, improvising, the thing it most feels like is I have a recurring dream of running down a hill and my feet just land in the right place. And then that's what improvising feels like. The conscious sort of working things out isn't having to do it because it wasn't doing it anyway. Yes. It was getting in the way.
Almost the consciousness is filling in the gaps afterwards. You've got the idea, but you need to fill in the details, and that's the hard work in a way, but the fun bit is running down the hill.